told her we would have been paid it, but she said don't worry about it. But on top of that, like I said, y'all not getting my money because y'all are being weird. Y'all attitude is nasty. And why are we talking about $12 when y'all still have to pay $150 that you said you wasn't paying for? Y'all trying to deflect. We're not doing that. We would help her pay the $150. So y'all are not getting $12 when there is $150 that has to be paid. I was just like, y'all got jelly for brains. At this point, I'm sick of y'all hoes. Y'all got jelly for brains. Don't nobody brain move. Don't nobody brain work correctly. Y'all just got jelly in there. Like, it's giving SpongeBob.
I'm not about to sit here and defend against my finances. If I said I ain't giving you shit, I ain't giving you shit. Welcome back to another episode of Clocked Out Conversations. I'm your host, Vyncke, and today we got some more TikTok content. Girls Trip Went Left, Part 1. I'm not here to waste your time. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Clocked Out Conversations. I'm your host, Vyncke, and today we got some more TikTok content. Girls Trip Went Left, Part 1. I'm not here to waste your time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Story time on the girls' trip to Houston that went wrong. I hope y'all are ready. And if there was a Bible right here, right now, put my hand on the Bible. I'm not lying about nothing that I'm about to say. Because honestly, y'all, I thought like this would never happen to me. Like, you know, you hear stories all the time about the girls on TikTok going on these girls' trips. They falling out, they fighting, they ain't coming home as friends. It's always in Miami or in Jamaica or in Mexico. But no, y'all. Houston. I didn't even follow with nobody because they wasn't my friends, and I was trying to be respectful of my friend and not tell the story. But I'm not gonna tell it in a messy way, but I did give her permission to tell the story, so I'm gonna tell y'all. Hopefully this don't, I don't want this to blow up only because like I just don't want it to blow up because I just want to tell. Everybody keeps asking me what happened, and I'm just gonna tell it on here, and it's gonna do whatever it does. I am nervous to tell it because I'm like, what if y'all don't agree with me? But like I can admit maybe at some parts where I was wrong, but we'll get to that. I'm gonna try to keep this in one part because nobody wants to listen to multiple parts. So honestly, we just about to jump straight into it. I was supposed to be doing skincare, but I talk with my hands. I ain't gonna be able to do skincare while I'm trying to talk to y'all. I do have screenshots, I have evidence, I have text messages to show y'all. So whatever I do have to like tag, I'm gonna tag in part 2. But let's just get into it. So basically, y'all, I'm going to give code names, but I'm not giving much code names. I'm only going to give code names to the girls that I'm not cool with. But everybody else, y'all getting called by name. I'm not doing all of that because I'm going to forget. So basically, my friend Zai, we've been friends since high school. We got closer over like the past 2 years. We're adults. We relate. We're trying to do things with our life. That's my girl. We vibe on like a totally different level. Like, she's my friend. I could talk about God. We could talk about everything. And yeah, that's just my girl. So once we came back from my birthday trip in October from Atlanta, we talked about going to Houston. Keep in mind, us two plus my best friend, we were supposed to be going to Houston to apartment tour and explore and go out a little bit. So she ended up graduating from college in December of 2024, the December we just had. And originally she invited me on her girls trip to, I want to say it was Jamaica. The original trip, as far as I was concerned, was not to Houston because that was a trip that we planned to go on together by ourselves without her friends. So basically, I get a message from her. She's telling me, we're doing a girls trip to Houston for her graduation trip. She wants me to come. And honestly, I felt like if I didn't come, I would feel bad because she took the time out to come on my birthday trip to Atlanta. Mind you, she lives in Florida. I live in South Carolina. So I'm like, I cannot miss my girls trip. Like, I already told her I would come on her graduation trip. My best friend couldn't even come with me. But I'm like, I gotta go. Because me, I'm gonna always feel bad if I don't stand on what I say. I'll be out of breath. But yeah, so I'm like, I gotta fucking go. I gotta go. I'm gonna try to not curse for real because I just cussed on accident. But I'm like, I gotta go. So I'm like, all right, cool. But then I'm like, but wait, her friends are coming. And on top of that, y'all, it was 8 of us total. 7 of them coming from Tally, where they're from. 1 of me coming from South Carolina. I'm coming by myself and I don't know these girls. So of course, I'm low-key like, oh my gosh, like, should I even go? Like, I don't know them. Like, what if they're weird? What if they try to fight me? What if they kill me and kidnap me? Y'all know a whole bunch of shit be going on. And I think like that because I'm not going to let nobody get over on me. Like, I'm not doing that. And people are crazy. But I sucked it up. I booked my flight. I bought my clothes. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to go to Houston. I'm excited. I've never been. And I'm just like, you know what? If the girls are weird, I'm just going to book me a flight and I'm going to come back home. I'm going to change my flight and I'm going to come back home because I don't do the weirdness. I don't do the weirdness. I am a straight, no BS person. I don't play like that. I might be only 21, but I am grown. I handle my business. I have my own business. I am on my P's and Q's. Y'all not gonna play with me. So, we in a group chat. We get added to this group chat. I'm looking at the itinerary and I'm noticing, I'm like, you know, this itinerary, it don't look like what me and friend was talking about. All I see is club, E. So it's given we finna be shaking our ass. And we finna be big bags. And I'm like, this don't really look too right. Where's the activities? We were supposed to go horseback riding. We didn't do that. The only activities we did was pole dancing and we did the art museum. There was supposed to be way more on there than what we actually did. I'm not a partier, but I also go along with whatever the group wants to do. It's not my trip. I can't take over.
So you had one activity that was some non-ho shit.
But at the same time, too, her friends took over the itinerary. And she called me like a couple weeks before we left and she was upset because she already was just like, you know, this is not how I'm wanting my trip to go, basically. So we texted in the group chat. We all sent pictures to introduce ourselves. I think that was really for me and Chloe, who's her other friend, who is from there, but she doesn't hang with the girls. She don't know them at all. And also her other friend, Naja, which I know Naja. She came on my birthday trip. So we always just send a picture to see how we all look, da-da-da. Now, I remember, which wasn't a big deal, but sometimes when I would text in the group chat, nobody would respond except Zai and maybe one other person. I can't really remember who. But I was just like, like, every time that I'm texting, like, nobody's really saying nothing. But I'm also an overthinker, so I'm like, Lexi, don't think too much into it because it's probably nothing. Which, at the time, I don't think it was anything. We just don't know each other. But, you know, whatever. So we get there. Now, mind you, I flew in. Zai and Chloe flew in. So they flew in from Florida, I flew in from South Carolina, and we all met at Houston's airport. So we get to the airport and the rest were driving 10 plus hours because they were scared to fly. Totally understandable. Y'all were too scared to fly. That's why y'all drove 10 plus hours. Right. Okay, so they're still on the way, but we're at the airport and automatically, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I clicked with Chloe. Like, we were in literally, y'all, throughout the whole trip, I'm like, literally one night we was sitting in the bed, we was talking, I'm like, girl, is you me? Because why are we saying the same thing? Like, I hope I can actually have a friendship with her because we are like, I don't know, I love her a lot. I don't really know her, but I love her. Like, she's so down to earth. Like, she's like splitting image of me, like who I am on the inside. So yeah, basically we land. I'm already like, dang, like I like Chloe. We go out to eat. And then now it's like we're supposed to be getting early check-in for our B&B. Now, mind you, check-in, of course, like everywhere else, is 4 p.m. Meaning if we're getting 2 hours early for check-in, we're checking in at 2 p.m., right? So she's on the phone with her friends. Sai's on the phone with her friends. She's like, yeah, we're just coming to get something to eat because we can't get into the B&B, And they're like, oh, you need to get your money back because why you can't check in? Like, basically, like, they trying to play you, like, you need to get your money back because why you can't check in, y'all got early check-in. I'm in the backseat like, bro, early check-in is 2 o'clock. It's literally 12 p.m. Why would we be able to get into the B&B if they literally checked out at 11? Check-in isn't until 2. So automatically, I'm like, are y'all slow? But like, I wasn't trying to be rude, but I'm also really like, I'm a straightforward person. Like, come on, like, we got to use our brains. Obviously, we can't check in because it's not 2 o'clock. Like, what? But at the same time, too, I don't know y'all. So I'm just like, I'm sitting in the backseat minding my business. I'm just like, whatever. This ain't even my conversation for real. It's giving them after the 2 parts. But yeah, so basically we ended up going, we ate, and then we left there. We went to Jordan Soul Food. It was good. Then we left there. We went to Dollar Tree. Zai was straight, like, head was straight on wanting to do goodie bags for them. So we was helping her pick out stuff. And at first she wasn't going to do the goodie bags. Now, I can't really recall why she said why she wasn't going to do them. And I'm not going to really say because I don't fully know. But I knew it had something to do with her saying she knew she was going to have to pay something else on the trip because something was going to happen. She knew. So she wasn't really wanting to do goodie bags, but she decided to do them anyways because she's just like me. When we're hosting things, that's what you got to do as a host. You do shit like that. That's just how it is. You do stuff like that. Like, come on. So she buys the goodie bags, you know, she puts everything together. We get to the B&B. It's literally a duplex, so it's house B on the left, house A on the right. We picked house B. There was 3 rooms in each house with queen beds, and they all had 2 bathrooms. So one of the girls who was riding with them from Florida, that's the girl who came on my birthday trip. So I knew her. So I said, well, Zai, so we have an even number. Bring her to this house. The two sisters can share a room and the other two get their own room. You and Naja can share a room. Me and Chloe get our own room. It was simple. So I get in the house, we was at the dollar store. I bought spray and stuff. I'm bleaching down our toilets. I'm spraying our covers because we're gonna take a nap. Like, we done been up since 5 a.m. We only got 1 hour of sleep last night. Like, it's time to go to bed. I'm not gonna lie. So this is a long story. I'm not gonna hold you. So now, it's like, okay, time to take a nap, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't fall asleep immediately because I was editing a TikTok vlog. So I hear banging on the door. As soon as I'm starting to close my eyes because I'm tired, I hear and I can't really hear what they're saying, but it was giving yelling, like, open up, like, we here. Ah. So I'm like, oh, now I gotta meet these girls. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I was a little nervous because I've never met them before. I've never seen them. I don't know anything about them. So I'm like, okay, like, it's time to meet them. So I really don't want to do too many parts. But, okay, comment part 2 for part 2 because the next part is where it's going to get interesting, I promise. I just kind of had to give y'all a backstory. Like I said, I don't want this to be too messy, so I'm going to try to keep it cute. You know what I'm saying? But, like, also, it got really messy. And it got really messy when the trip ended, when by the time we got home, they decided to bump gums. But comment part 2 for part 2, and I will post it. But I'm going to keep it respectful because, that's just how I am. I'm going to keep it respectful. Part 2 of how the girls trip went left in Houston. Hopefully it's not much of a quality switch because I have to switch phones because the receipts is on here. The receipts is on this phone. So yeah, all I hear is, I remember getting a text saying they were like an hour out. And that's when I was starting to fall asleep. So I hear knocking on the door. And in my head, I'm like, Zai, get up and get your friends. Because I'm not getting up to open the door for them. I don't know them, so you got to go get them. So now me and Chloe, our room is in the back of the house. Zai's is more so like in the front of the hallway. We're at the back of the hallway. So keep that in mind. So I come out my room. Once I hear Zai open the door up, and I'm like, well, people are coming in here. We're laying down. Let me get up. So I get up, and I go inside the living room, and I see the first girl in the hallway. We're going to call her Blondie. So I see Blondie, and this video is no shade to any of you girls. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm telling the story. Like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all did have me messed up a few days ago, but now I don't care no more. I'm just telling it because it's my experience, and I gotta share it because I didn't think it was gonna happen. But yeah, anyways, back to the story. I see Blondie, and I'm gonna always speak. So we both said, I don't know who said hey first, but we both said hey. And I was like, hey, like, how you doing? Da-da-da. That was that. So then I walked back to my room to grab my blanket. And then I came back out, and that's when I saw another girl come in. And we're going to call her Oreo. Now, I actually was like, dang, Oreo attitude is not that good. But also, over the days of the trip, I also did get to learn that she is really to herself. And she's actually cool. Like, she's actually cool. But I only said that because when she came in the door, she did not speak. And I was raised based off of when you come in somebody's house, you speak. When you come in someone else's presence, you speak. So she came in, and I had to say hi to her. And I know she saw me first. Or she just didn't say hi at all. She just walked in and just didn't say hey. So I was just like, oh, hey. And she was like, hey, really monotone. And I was like, ooh, okay, like, whatever. But I think she was sleeping, like I said, she's actually cool. Like, she's actually cool. She proved to be the most mature out of all of them. So, yeah, so she comes in. I ended up saying hey to her, and she ends up walking to the back of the house, and she starts looking around. And I'm like, why are you looking around when your house is over there? Mind you, they're staying in house A. Remember, we're in house B. But she looking around, and so I walked to the back of the house, and me and Chloe was just kind of looking at each other like, oh, okay, like, whatever. But like I said, she actually ended up being cool. Like, she's cool. So then, again, I walked back up to the front of the house, because I think Chloe came back up at this point, and now I see the two sisters. We're going to call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. Thing 1 is going to be the bigger sister. Thing 2 is the smaller sister. So I don't know who I saw first. I don't know if I saw Thing 1 or Thing 2 first. But off rip, I love their energy. Because they're like, oh, hey. Like, really bubbly, really sweet. Seem really down to earth. So I'm like, oh, hey. Like, how y'all doing? They're like, oh, we good. And I'm like, okay. Like, they seem cool. And they was cool. Like, after that, Oreo went over back to the other house. I think she went back to sleep, and we all went outside. Now, I don't really smoke or drink, but they were outside gardening, I think is what y'all call it on TikTok. So they outside, they doing that. And, we talking, and everybody's cool. I'm like, okay, like, this trip might be okay. Like, now I'm getting a little excited, because I'm like, okay, like, we might be good for real. So now they're like, oh, we hungry. And mind you, we already ate. But they was like, okay, y'all, let's go to Kroger. They wanted to go to Kroger, the liquor store, and they wanted to get something to eat. They wanted American Deli. I wasn't really hungry, but we're all going. They said, y'all can ride with us and let's go. Mind you, y'all can ride with us and let's go. Now, me personally, when I go out of town, I'm always flying. I'm used to Ubering everywhere I go. So this whole rental car thing, they had, so remember, it was 4 of them that drove down. Well, 5 of them that drove down. It was an 8-car vehicle. There's 8 of us total. So they offered for us to come in the car with them. So, okay, cool. Obviously, I'm not going to Uber by myself if everybody else is going. Like, that's just kind of like, okay. So we ended up going to Kroger. American Deli was closed. So Kroger probably was like 10 minutes down the street. After Kroger, Chick-fil-A was like right there. And then we went to the liquor store. Okay. So now we're at the liquor store. I brought my own liquor. I had 2 green tea shots, a small shot of Don Julio, some On the Rocks, and I had XXL wine. So I didn't even want to participate in the liquor buying. But because I was trying to be a good sport, when they said this is how much money we gotta all put in for the bottle, I just sent my money because I'm just trying to be a good sport. Although I did drink a little bit of it, but it wasn't much. But I only drank it because I didn't end up putting money in it. So now we get back to the house. I'm thinking everything's good. No, wait, am I missing something? Yeah, so we get back to the house, and now they're like, okay, I almost confused the days, y'all. But we get back to the house, and they're like, okay, y'all, now let's, everybody go change into your cheetah print pajamas and meet back in our house, I think at 11 or 12. So we get back over there, and I wasn't really drinking because honestly, I was still trying to feel the vibe out. At some points of the night, I was getting like, kind of like, feeling like weird looks, but at the same time too, I don't know y'all girls, so it was just kind of like, I'm not trying to think too much of it, but also like, I'm very much sober, so like, I kind of know like, you know, how I'm feeling, but like I said, that totally could not have been the case. I'm not going to say that because that couldn't have been the case. So I wasn't really drinking much, you know, whatever. I'm just having fun. And then they start setting these alarms. Oh, there's something on my phone, like there's a bug on my ceiling. They start setting alarms for everybody in the group had to set an alarm, and when the alarm went off is when we had to take shots. Now, I think this is where everything went downhill at because obviously they're going to get drunk. But mind you, I made me a lemon drop, so I was sipping all night. I'm not taking shots because I don't know y'all. I'm not comfortable enough around y'all to get drunk. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm not comfortable enough. So I was very sober actually. So now it's like, okay, so Blondie had a charger. Now I saw the charger because she was sitting next to me the whole night. But I'm not sure it's the charger she thought it was. So Blondie had this charger that she was holding on to all night alongside some cups. So they were like stacked and they were on the floor. So now as the night is ending, you know, they're getting tired, her phone starts to die, right? So she's like, oh, I can't find my charger. Like, I think Oreo took my charger. She's the only one who has an iPhone 16 and I have a 15. So we both have C cords. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So I'm like, okay, well, let me help you look for it. So I'm scrambling around the house. I looked in the refrigerator. I looked in the freezer. I was up in cushions. I was moving couches. I was doing everything trying to help this girl find her charger because she was mad. She was livid. And I'm like, well, dang, like, she was really, really upset about this charger and accusing this girl of taking her charger. So, like, in the midst of us looking at stuff, they're going back and forth in the room trying to tell the girl, like, we think that's Oreo. We think that's Blondie's charger, like, whatever the case is. She like, no, this is my charger, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up stepping outside. Now, I don't know who the 4th person was outside with me, but this was the first red flag that I picked up about this friend group. And I hope that well, you know, actually, Oreo do know about it now because my friend told her. I step outside and I'm outside with thing 1, I think I said was the bigger one, I think. And I was outside with Blondie, right? Right? Like I said, this was the first red flag. So they're basically saying like, oh, like, I don't even know Oreo for real. We just work with her. Like, she's not really my friend. Insinuating that that's more so Zai's friend and they don't really care about her. I don't even play with her like that. Now, this is what Blondie's saying because she's mad about her charger. I don't even play with her like that. Like, I mean, just going on and on. I'm like, ooh. So in my head, I'm like, this is my first impression of y'all. And mind y'all, also, this was the second red flag. The first red flag was when we was in the car on the way to like the liquor store or something. Whatever we was on the way with. They were talking mad trash about this old friend, this old girl that they used to be friends with, who none of them are no longer cool with, but dragging her name. And I had one of my AirPods in, so I couldn't fully hear the full conversation. But I'm just like, wow, like, and in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, if Zai falls out with these girls, they are going to drag her name. These are nobody's friends. And that was the first red flag, was in the car, me hearing them talk so bad about that girl. And then now I'm on a porch and her 2 friends are talking about her. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to be messy, so I never said anything in that moment. I just kind of mentally noted it. 'Cause I'm like,
That's the best thing you can do. When people get to talking stuff about people that you're unfamiliar with and you don't want to have anything to do with, stay quiet. You don't want anybody to ever come back and say, "Oh, well, you was talking here too." No, 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 no. I was silent.
I see how y'all moving, and I think something bad is gonna happen on the trip. My discernment already told me from jump, do not go, because I already knew it was gonna be some shady mess. But I'm like, something's gonna happen. So I went back inside, y'all, and I kid you not, as we're talking, like, they're literally talking about the whole charger situation. I started recording on my phone, so hold on. Now, this is more so me just kind of recording, like, I'm just recording my face. I'm, like, low-key drunk. Like, I was about to post with my close friends, like, oh, the girls are arguing. But they weren't arguing, they were more so just speaking. But just listen.
We're charging me. Now, I'm in my duffel bag.
Oreo.
Walk up here with it?
Thing one.
So I'm saying, how did that charger get appeared? That's not a charger.
She said she came out here with her charger.
She left her charger in the room. Oh, okay.
So that was basically Oreo just saying she never took her charger out the wall. So basically, Blondie ended up going inside the room, snatching the charger out the wall. And Oreo gets mad and she's like, she comes out the room, storms out the room. She gonna have to go to the store because she needs her charger. And basically she's not gonna go back and forth with the girl. More of the story, when I looked at the cords, I have an iPhone 16, 15, and 14. 16 has a different charger. The cord is riffled. Every other cord is smooth and straight on the C charger. So I was like, yeah, actually, like, and I'm like telling like, y'all, that's not her charger, that's not her charger. But basically, her charger ended up being in thing 1 and thing 2 room. So basically, Oreo ended up telling Blondie that she did not like how she came at her about it when, you know, whole time that was her charger. But that was just the second thing I realized, like, oop, like, y'all are messy. Hey, y'all, part 3 of the story time,
That's another thing. If you are looking for something, if you lost something, be quick to blame yourself first. Because oftentimes you misplace it and now you blaming somebody else, and when you find it, you end up looking stupid. Let's continue.
The girls trip that went left. Now, y'all gotta watch this in 2x because these are long. I told y'all I have to give y'all every single detail so y'all know I'm not tripping. Like, I have to give every detail. I have to fully explain myself. So yeah, I'm like, oh, y'all is messy. Like I said, mind y'all, this is my first impression of y'all. Y'all is nobody friends, and I picked it up off rip. I picked up on all these girls' character, and I was like, But like I said, I'm keeping it respectful because these is my friends' friends. I don't gotta deal with these hoes when I leave. That low-key gave big Lex confessionals. But yeah, so I'm like, ooh, this is messy, but I'm finna go ahead and go to sleep. It's like 2, 3 a.m. I'm tired. Like, it's time to go to bed. So we go back over to our house, and I'm showing the girls in our house the chords. And I'm like, yeah, y'all, like, high key, like, and they're like, girl, like, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, that's real crazy. So then me and Chloe, I could tell me and Chloe was like low-key giving side eyes, but at the same time too, y'all, this whole trip when I was peeping little stuff, I never wanted to say anything to Chloe because I thought Chloe was close with them, but come to find out, that was her first time meeting them as well. So yeah, now we go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and I believe this morning is when we had our pole dancing class. I have to refer back to the itinerary on all, like on the story time, so I can make sure I have everything together. So basically, remember, we got a rental because, well, I don't know if I told you that part. We got a rental because we landed at 9 a.m. and we didn't have nowhere to put our bags. We needed to drive around. So we had to take our rental back to the airport. And I remember the night before, the girls were complaining because they did not want to get up. We had to return the rental at 9:30. So I ended up being able to push it back to 10:30. They did not want to get up and take us and come and meet us at the little return rental car place and bring us back to the pole dancing class. That was too much driving. They didn't want to do that. So we said, okay, cool. We'll Uber from the place to the pole dancing class. Keep that in mind. That's the time we did not ride with them. So yeah, we go to the pole dancing class. We take the car and then we get to the pole dancing class. We all go inside, you know, we do the pole dancing, whatever. We leave out of there and now they're like, we're hungry. I told y'all their backs was big. But also on this itinerary, nobody scheduled brunch except for one day. The whole itinerary to me was messed up, but whatever. We'll talk about it another time. So yes, we get in the car and we're on the way to a restaurant. I just remember them kept saying, "Batty, batty, shut up, clock, take shots, take shots." And literally, I kid you not, the whole time on this trip, I'm like, is nobody concerned for their health? Why are we taking shots at 9 a.m.? Tequila at that. Does nobody want food on their stomach? Like, what in the world? So yeah, we ended up going to Trill Burgers after the pole dancing class. And then I remember we left there and then I look up and we're at a gas station. This is where it gets low-key messy. Because I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't know we was even going to get gas. I got my AirPod in because, honestly, I use my AirPod as comfort. It's like a kid with their blanket. I use my AirPod when I'm in big groups of people, around people I don't know. I get really anxious and nervous. I keep an AirPod in my ear. That's what I do all the time. So I have my AirPod in. I'm looking down on my phone. I think I'm editing a TikTok or something. And I remember hearing conversation in the front about gas, but it sounded like they were talking amongst themselves. So I'm not getting in y'all conversation. I wasn't addressed. Nobody said, Lexi and Chloe, are y'all helping pay for gas? Nobody said that. So I'm in my phone minding my business. So I hear them saying something about something. I'm not paying y'all no attention. Like I said, I wasn't addressed. So we get back home, and I'm going to tell y'all the message we got. I found it. So thing 2 says, and she's just so shady, like, but she's like, which this wasn't shady, but it also was like passive aggressive. But hold on, let me just read it. So if we're more than likely going to use our renter for the weekend, is there any way y'all can put in? Our money rotation is a little F now, and just to be fair. So we see that, and we like, huh? So then that's when Zai texted, or she called her and told her to come over to our house. I wish I recorded this because I was also vlogging on my YouTube channel. I was always vlogging when I was eating. This is the one time my camera wasn't out. She comes over there, and she's like, yeah, and mind you, she's trying to make it seem like she doesn't feel some type of way, but the other girls feel some type of way, right? She's like, yeah, so the girls, they just feel some type of way because they are upset that y'all didn't at least offer to put in gas. Like, y'all was riding with us yesterday and today, and y'all didn't offer no gas money, and y'all heard us talking about it, and y'all ignored us, this and that. And I'm like, we ignored y'all. And I was like, I didn't even hear y'all say anything. We weren't addressed. And so Chloe was like, if y'all wanted gas money, or if y'all basically was upset about something, why y'all just didn't say that? Like, why didn't y'all just ask for the gas money while we was in the car, instead of y'all feeling some type of way, going home, discussing it, having attitudes and being weird, then send you over here. Now now she's over here trying to play peacemaker, right? So that's when I'm like, now here is how I felt about it, and I still feel like I'm not wrong for feeling this way. So that's when I'm like, well, I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, y'all are trying to say y'all are on half of a tank, right? Which was $40. They wanted us to put make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. Hopefully, let's see if y'all agree with me or not. Y'all want us to put $40, and money is not an issue, but y'all want us to put $40 into half a tank when we only drove with y'all to Kroger, everything in one area, 10 minutes down the street, that one day, and then back home from the pole dancing class. We probably only rode about maybe $5-10 of gas in that car. I know that for a fact. So, and that's what I'm telling her. I was like, now from today.
I'm not gonna lie, counting the amount of dollars per gas, it's kind of crazy. You sound like Julius from Everybody Hates Chris, but I understand. Leave comments down below and see, do you think that she's out of her mind for thinking like that? Or let me know.
Forward from us riding with y'all from the pole dancing class and the rest of the trip, because we will be riding with y'all. Now we can fill up before y'all leave, or the next time y'all go to get gas. Yes, we will put in, because y'all are filling up a tank that y'all rode on. That's why y'all on half a tank. And so she's like, basically, she really not trying to hear none of that. So we like, okay, you know what? We can see you the money. It's not that big of a deal. Money is never going to be an issue with Alexis Simone. We can see you the money. She's like, no, don't worry about sending the money. Just send it to us whenever we go to fill up before we leave, right? That's what she said, right? So I'm assuming she went back over to the other house and made it seem like we wasn't going to pay no money. It gives what happened after we left is given she went over there and tried to make it seem like we said we wasn't going to pay. But that was never the case. We literally told her we would have given her the money right then and there, but she said don't worry about it. She is messy. I'm not going to lie. She's really messy. So yeah, that happens. And so when she leaves out, they like, oh, Lexi, you okay? Now, one thing about me, I'm going to say my piece and I'm going to leave you where you had me effed up at. So I'm like, they're like, oh, Lexi, like, you quiet, you okay? And I'm like, I'm good, but I just feel like that was really weird. The energy, she was like literally throwing passive aggressive energy. Like, you can tell when somebody is trying to play peacemaker, but they're the ones with the actual issue. And that's what it was given. I'm not no dummy. I done dealt with people like this before. But I'm like, you know what? It's cool. Like, whenever it's time to give the money, we'll give the money. It's not that big of a deal. So now it's time to go out. We had dinner reservations at Prey at 9:30. They wanted to leave the house at 8:30. So I remember when we was at Churro Burgers earlier in the day, we're discussing how dinner is going to go. I personally said we should Uber to dinner and Uber to the lounge, because why are we all riding in this truck and y'all are supposed to be drinking? I don't ride with people who are drinking. I do not like that. And also I was saying that because clearly y'all had an issue with us riding in the car with y'all. So they like, no, why would we Uber and we have a car? Like, we'll Uber tomorrow when we're actually going to be drinking, but tonight we'll drive. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But the whole issue was that they didn't want to come home to change from dinner to club fits because they're wearing what they're wearing to dinner to the club. Now let me read y'all something. On the itinerary, grown and sexy attire, heels, platform, wedges only. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. I gave grown, sexy attire because it's a dinner. You don't wear streetwear to a dinner. You don't wear club wear to a dinner. You come looking like a Barbie doll or a Bratz doll. You look up to par for a dinner. Yes, everybody has different styles, but there's a certain way you're supposed to carry yourself when it comes to classy dinners. That's all I'm gonna say. That's why they didn't have to change, because they was wearing the same outfit. And that's no shade, but I'm just saying that ties along.
Women, stop trying to make other people feel comfortable. That's all shade. That's all shade. If the sun was outside, couldn't be more shade. That's all shade.
So, whatever the case is, we all ended up going back home. We changed, and now we don't have to be to the next club. We don't have to be to the club until 2 a.m. I'm a granny. So I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to take me a nap. So me and Chloe, we ended up falling asleep, and then they woke us up before it was time to go. So now we get in a car, and we drive to the first club. And I'm gonna just tell this part quick. We drive to the first club. It was apparently $800 to get a section. We left there, went to this other club. It was a gay club. I have no problem with gay people, but it was a male gay club. Outside, nothing but niggas who are gay. I personally told them I'm not gonna be comfortable going in there. There's no females. I do not want to go in there. We left that club, went to another club. They was fighting at that club, so we was like, we don't want to go there. We went into another club, and that club was dead. So now some of them started to get an attitude because they're like, well, we don't want to go home. Like, we want to be out till the sun come up. Baby, it's 4 a.m. Y'all messed up this itinerary to the point to where we have to be up at 9 o'clock because we have reservations at 11. Y'all don't know how to plan a trip. I'm like, they like, well, what do y'all want to do? And I literally sat there and I told them, don't ask me because I'm going to tell y'all we need to go home and go to sleep. It's 4 a.m. Why are we still out? We literally have to be up. We have reservations in the morning. I think we should go home. But based off of a group decision, I will go with whatever the group wants to do. Simple, because that's how I am. I'm not going to go against what everybody wants to do. Part 4 of the girls trip that went wrong. And I feel like this story is getting long. We're 30 minutes in.
She's much better than me. If something doesn't make any sense, I'm going to stand up and say it. I'm going home. Y'all, I'm gonna just call an Uber. I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna go to sleep. Y'all don't have to come. Y'all don't have to come with me. All of y'all can go out and party, be out till 11, 12. I don't care. But me, if I'm tired and what the group is saying is not sensible, it's nonsensical, I'm going home. End of discussion.
30 minutes. But I do want to tell the story, so let's get into it. And like I'm gonna keep saying, I'm not trying to be messy. I did watch it back. And I'm like, my tone is given, I'm trying to be messy, but I'm simply trying to tell my experience because it was an experience for sure. So now, we drive around. They will obviously want to stay out. I'm telling them, like, it's up to y'all, but I think we should go home. So we came to the group decision. Let's just go home. We could try again tomorrow. We literally have a section tomorrow, so it'll be fine tomorrow. So now we get home. We all go lay down, take a shower, do whatever. Ooh, hold on. So we had reservations at Prospect Park at 1 p.m. They wanted to leave the house between 11:30 and 12 p.m. So we get there, and actually I woke up and I felt so sick. I think it was because our house was stuffy, and I just woke up with like a sinus headache, and I just had like a little migraine. So I wasn't really too much feeling it, but I'm not a party pooper. Let's go have fun. So of course I'm all the way in the back row again, and now we pull up to the restaurant. And when we got in the restaurant originally, or it's like outside, they took us to a further back booth where it was a little smaller and it was far away from the crowd. So they ended up moving us up, right? So at Prospect Park, it was like 2 tables here and 1 long bench. So 1 party here, 1 party here. Well, everybody did not fit. Our whole group did not fit at the 1 table. So me and Naja was low-key hanging off, literally in between the 2 tables, no table in front of us. And the other table's right here. Naja could low-key fit, but I'm off to the side. So their whole friend group was sitting down. Then it was just me and Naja just kind of sitting off to the side. She was able to fit, but they're like, oh, get the table and move it closer. Now, this is really no big deal, but I'm going to add it in because I feel like I want to add it in. they're like, oh, scoot the table up, scoot the table up. So I'm struggling trying to move the table. Naja ends up getting up, helping me to pull the table closer. But even then, it's not one of the tables where we're sitting across from each other. We're literally sitting like this. So the whole time at the restaurant, I feel like they might have thought, like, because I even texted me asking me what was wrong. Nothing was wrong, but literally, y'all, I could hear no conversation. There was loud music blasting. So I couldn't hear no conversation. Like, I'm sitting literally, like, on the other side. Like, literally on the other side. I can't hear anything that they're talking about because conversation was really happening on that end. So I couldn't hear anything. So I just really wasn't participating in conversation. I was editing a TikTok vlog, honestly. It was no big deal to me. I'm just like, cool, whatever. So we leave there, and then we end up going to the art museum. That was cool. I didn't really pick up no weird vibes there. And then we left the art museum, and we went back home. Now, this is where things kind of got interesting for me. So we get back home, and I remember earlier that morning I was trying to spray my even spray, but it wasn't spraying. So I kept saying I needed to go to the hair store. Also, I needed to get some eye drops from Walgreens because my eye was red from my bottom lashes. But when we were on the way to the airport the day before to drop the car off, we didn't have time because we were running late, so we weren't able to stop by Walgreens. So I was like, either I was going to Uber there or I was going to, ask if we can go while we was out. But after the whole gas situation happened, I honestly didn't want to trouble them by asking them to make any extra stop because I didn't really like the energy. And that was just me, honestly, like, not being sure, like, how they were really feeling. And I was just like, I'm good, like, I'll figure it out. So we get back home, and I'm telling them, like, yeah, like, I think I'm going to change my hair to this style. It was me, Chloe, Zai, and Thing 2 on the porch, and we were talking. And so I was like, oh, Thing 2, do you have a wax stick? She was like, yeah, you can use it. I'm like, okay, cool. She was like, do you want it now? And I was like, well, no, I'm going to wait until I'm going to do my hair because I'm going to go lay down for a little bit. She was like, okay, cool, because we didn't have to be getting ready till like 8 o'clock, I think. So 8 o'clock rolls around, and I'm starting to get ready. Well, actually, hold on, I skipped a part. Zai ended up telling me, oh, Lexi, we're still on the porch. They're about to go to the hair store. Do you want to go with them? I was going to go with them because I needed stuff, but I said no because, for one, I did not want to ride with Thing 2 and Blondie by myself because I don't know them, and because I got weird vibes from Thing 2, and I just don't really know what they're on. And also, if Zai or Chloe wasn't coming with me, I did not want to go by myself. So honestly, I said, oh no, like, I'm good. I found what I was looking for. I just need the wax stick. And I ended up actually door dashing from Sally's and Target to get my eye drops. I needed some hair stuff, and I spent like $70-something. Totally by choice, but like I said, money ain't no issue. So yeah, basically I laid down, DoorDash my stuff, took a nap, woke up, all my stuff was on the porch. I grabbed it, and now I'm texting. I'm like, hey, are y'all done with the wax stick? Can I use it? No response. So like a few minutes goes by, it's like 15 minutes, and I'm like, dang, like I'm a hairstylist. I could do my hair without a wax stick. Like, I was just doing some little buns and keeping it straight in the back. I don't need a wax stick. I got this in the back. I can do this in my sleep. So I ended up sitting down, trying to hot comb my hair, getting it together. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm vlogging. Where's my camera? And I'm like, wait, my camera was in my purse. Where's my purse? I can't find my purse. Looking all around the house, tossing them upside down. Mind you, like I said, I was putting it on the whole entire trip. I had like 6 different purses. Every outfit had a new bag. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm like, oh wait, I hope my purse is in the car and I didn't leave it in the art museum. So I texted in a group chat and I said, hey, can someone unlock the truck? I need to look for my purse. Every time I'm around them, they're on their phone, right? But nobody responded to me. And like 45 minutes had went by, and I'm low-key getting more and more irritated as I'm doing my hair. So I'm like, I know y'all see me texting. Nobody responded. So I was like, Zai, please call your friends and ask them to unlock the truck. Like, please unlock this truck. So she calls, and maybe like 5 minutes later, they unlock the truck. I get my purse. And I low-key had a slight attitude, but I got over it like really quick. Because I'm like, you know what? Maybe they didn't see my text, but it's 4 of y'all in that house. Somebody saw it. Like, whatever though. Whatever. So I ended up finished getting ready, and now it's time to head out, and they wanted to take shots. So I go over to their house. We're like, okay, we finna pregame. I think I took one of my, on the rock shots. But like I said, I'm not drinking heavy around y'all because I don't know y'all. So yeah, we ended up getting to the lounge. I had sent an Uber for us. They sent an Uber for their house. Well, Zai called an Uber, and then they sent one. So now we get to the lounge, and it was just a whole bunch of BS happening with that. They booked through a promoter versus the bottle girl or the actual people inside the club. I don't know how it works, but they didn't book technically through the right person. So they put us in a section in the very back, away from everybody. Couldn't see nothing. We were sitting on these tables that had my whole butt vibrating because we were right by the DJ booth. Mad uncomfortable. So of course everybody's kind of annoyed, but really the 2 sisters were annoyed because they were the ones that booked it. So they're up there trying to figure everything out, whatever the case is. We end up getting moved to another section that still barely fits everyone. We just had to sit at the top. It was whatever. So at this point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just enjoying my time. I pulled my 2 green tea shots out my bag. Me and Chloe both took one, and that was that. So now everybody's like, oh my gosh, Lexi, order a hookah, ask for hookah, ask for hookah. So I'm like, okay. Now, the same day prior, or earlier that day when we went to Prospect Park, they also ordered a hookah. I didn't smoke it. I told them I didn't want one. But we also ended up splitting the checks 8 ways even. But like I said, I'm going with the flow. Whatever y'all want to do, we'll do it. So now we're at the club, you know, and the guy brings over the hookah. Y'all can't sit here and tell me that nobody thought to say, oh, well, how much is the hookah? Nobody thought to ask. How did y'all think we got the hookah? Y'all thought that we got it for free? Like, I didn't really understand that part. So because when he brought the hookah and nobody pulled out their card, nobody pulled out their phone to tap it, I paid for it. It's $40. I'm used to like taking care of things, like everybody takes turns taking care of something. I took care of the hookah, which nobody took care of taking care of everything, but I'm just saying, I took care of the hookah. It's only $40, not that big of a deal. So I get the hookah or whatever. Nobody offers to pay for it except the girls who's in my house that was gonna smoke the hookah. Zai and Chloe. Naja's not smoking the hookah. They were the only 2 that offered. Keep that in mind. So now, you know, we're there all night. We end up leaving. Well, actually, I look across and I see Oreo. She's literally like swaying and doing this and a third. I didn't recall any of her friends checking up on her, but I kept asking her, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And apparently also while we were in there, I didn't peep, but Chloe peeped that there was weird vibes coming from thing 1 and thing 2 and Blondie. But I don't really know. I didn't see it, but I wouldn't be surprised. So we get outside and I ordered the Uber from my house. That Uber was like $60. So mind you, I already spent $40 for everyone on the hookah. Now I'm about to spend $60 on an Uber. My house was going to refund me for it. They were going to put their part in. Keep that in mind. But this is no issue that Blondie and Oreo ended up riding with us. But it didn't matter to me. Y'all can ride. It does not matter. But they also didn't offer to pay for the Uber. Keep that in mind. Because it's seeming that they're thinking that money is an issue. But y'all didn't offer to pay for the hookah. Nor did y'all offer to pay to tag along in the Uber. But money is not an issue for me. So it doesn't matter. If y'all ready to go back, let's go. Get in the Uber. I didn't offer y'all for money because it's not a requirement. I mean, I didn't say, can y'all pay, because it wasn't a requirement for me. So now we get back to the house. We all order pizza. We eat in. Everything seems to be cool. But I already made up in my mind that the next day I'm not going to Sunday Fun Day. I'm not drinking. I'm tired of drinking. We didn't explore the city at all. So now I'm kind of annoyed. I'm like, I really want some apartment tour out here. So me and Chloe, we talked that night and I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can find some apartment tours. I ended up finding 5 the next morning when I woke up. I purposely did not get up on time. I was up, but I did not want to go to brunch because we've been drinking this whole time. We have done nothing but drink. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't do that at home. I don't want to do that here. Yes, it's spring break, but we also have not seen the city. Like, we haven't seen the city. Like, stay tuned for part 5, and that's the final part. Welcome to the final part of this story time because grandma is getting tired. It's 9:27, babes. It's time to go to sleep. So this is going to be the final part. We're going to make it do what it do. So yes, so now it's the next morning. I'm not trying to go to brunch. Everybody else was asleep anyway, so I just didn't respond. I could have responded and said, yeah, I'm up, but thing 1 just asked if we were up, and only 1 person responded. I think Naja responded and said she just woke up. And so I texted the girls in the house with me, and I was like, hey, y'all, I want to go do apartment tours, me and Chloe. This is the time I want to go. If y'all want to go, let me know, and I'll order the Uber. The Uber will be here before 1 o'clock. The first tour was at 1. Obviously, 8 girls are not going to tour apartments. Too many girls. And being that, no, it was too many girls. So, and that wasn't me being shady by not inviting y'all on an apartment tour. Like, that was something I wanted to do. That was kind of personal for me anyway, so I invited the girls I was in the house with. And anyways, I'll tell y'all why it was good we didn't invite them anyway. So now I was like, okay, Zai, I want to do these apartment tours. I called her in my room and I was like, but I feel like we should do something with the girls. So I'm like, who downstairs in my house? It's my dog. But I'm like, there's an escape room, 6:50 p.m., $44 a person. Let's do an escape room and let's go tour the city with them. Ask them if they want to come. I tried to include them. So Zai sent the escape room or whatever. It took them an hour to respond.
But does it say, good morning, guys. I had the time, but I'm done drinking and smoking hookah. I feel blah. I was wondering if y'all wanted to do an escape room because I never did one. There's one at 6:50 p.m. and it's $44 per person. If y'all are interested, let me know. And I wanted to do some sightseeing and tourist stuff just to unwind. I personally don't want to do the escape room, and I don't have any chill clothes for it either. But if y'all want to, then I say go ahead. My camera is nowhere to be found, and it's not in my friend's car. We about to drive back to the place and see if it's in the parking lot. Okay, I'm done drinking myself. I'm tired AF. Alrighty, let's get into it.
They responded when we left at like 12:40ish. We're in the car, and thing one text. She's like, me personally, something about she don't want to do the escape room. She doesn't have any casual clothes, so we can go ahead and do it if we want to do it, but she doesn't want to do it. Her sister emphasized it. So y'all had no intention on doing anything casual. Y'all just wanted to party. You literally said y'all didn't have chill clothes. So that's why we just left, because nobody responded to the first message, and we honestly had to get somewhere by a certain time.
I could have told you that these girls' trips are just full of a bunch of hoe shit. Full of a bunch of just hoe shit. It's never just, oh, I just want to go out as ladies, as productive sisters that just want to sightsee and see this. It's never like that, bro. It's always some hoe shit, bro. Always.
So we like, okay, cool, whatever. I didn't respond, but Naja did say, oh no. So she says that, and then an hour later, she texted back, and she's like, oh wow, so y'all wasn't gonna tell nobody y'all left? And then
Damn, y'all wasn't gonna say y'all was going somewhere? No, oh my god. Zai or ZY, I forget what her name is, said something about sightseeing earlier. I thought y'all were still resting, but we left about an hour ago. KK. Well, you know, it's the attitude behind that.
sister talking about was like, oh man, or oh no, something like that. And I didn't respond, but Naja was like, we did ask, Zai asked about the escape room, but nobody responded. Because that was the truth. We asked if y'all wanted to go out, and y'all said no, because y'all didn't have casual clothes. Like, what were we supposed to do in that moment? Why did y'all only bring casual clothes when Zaya literally told us to bring 2 casual outfits? Like, come on, bro. So we doing apartment tours or whatever. They don't want to go to the escape room, so we didn't come back to like 7 p.m. Mind you, Zaya was sending text messages in the group chat. She sent the instructions for the Airbnb host, like saying, how to leave the house. She also was asking questions.
Y'all can kind of read this, but do y'all have any trash bags? Also, was the chair able to be fixed, or is it broken? No bags, and one of the legs is missing a screw, and the leg is bent up. Okay.
Apparently your chair was broken, and really nobody was responding except 2 of them, really, which was everybody but the sisters. I don't really recall anybody else responding in the group chat to any of Zai messages. So basically we didn't see them or hear from them the entire day. And mind you, we're right next to each other. We're in the house. Nobody came over. Nobody's really texting. No, we're outside on the front porch. Nobody is saying anything. It was just weird vibes. And so I'm like, what is going on? I don't really care. Y'all are not my friends. But then we get a text. Well, Zai got a text from thing 2 that says, can you send the money for the gas? Or can y'all send the money for the gas? Something like that. So, high-key, now I'm getting irritated because y'all don't show face all day. Now, all of a sudden, y'all asking about money. Which, yes, we did say we was going to give y'all money. But in my head, I'm like, I'm not giving y'all nothing. Y'all attitude is nasty. That might have been wrong, but y'all not getting my money. Y'all attitude is nasty. Like, what? So I'm loud. I don't know if they heard me. Clearly they didn't hear me because maybe they would have came over if they heard me say what I said. But I was just like, y'all hoes. I was like, I'm trying to say what I was saying because in a moment I was like low-key irritated. I was just like, y'all not getting my money. Y'all gonna have to come get it back in blood. Because I was irritated because like, what are y'all talking about? Like what? And on top of that too, it was just a lot going on. So does that justify it? Not really. If I say I'm gonna give you your money, I probably should have gave it to y'all, but y'all attitude was nasty, so y'all not getting no money from me. That's where my mind is at. So I say all of that. Zaya honestly starts crying because she's like, her trip didn't go the way she wanted it to go. She also was crying about other things, but it was just like, she wanted her trip to go a certain way. She feel like her itinerary was taken over. She didn't get to see the city. So she's at this point, she's just not happy. So I don't know really what went on with the rest of that text message, but we ended up all going to sleep. We stayed up for a little bit. We talked. We went to sleep. Now it's time for me to get on my flight. I get to my connecting flight. I'm calling Zai, making sure y'all up because y'all gotta check out at 11. She calls and says that the Airbnb host is charging her $150 for the broke chair in the other house. She's telling me how they left the house. They left their goodie bags. They left some trash bags in the room. It was just a whole lot of stuff that they left that they shouldn't have left it in that way, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what in the world? Like, that's crazy. So I'm like, well, call me when y'all land, da-da-da. So at this point, I'm home. It's like 8 p.m. And now I get a text message in the group chat. This is where it gets messy. So I get a text message in the group chat. And basically, hold on, I'm out of breath. So this text message is from Oreo. Oreo is not really confrontational. She says, hey, y'all, we're about to return the truck. Can you guys...
Hey y'all, we are about to return the truck. Can you guys send $12 each so we can fill it up, please? Okay, not you, boo. Okay, my bad. You know you're good. The message was for Chloe and Lex and Zai. I can't send anything since I have this invoice on my account. I have to pay $75 to $150 or my account would be blocked from not being able to book an Airbnb again since my legal name is on the account. Shaking my head, okay.
Please send $12 each so we can fill it up. Naja says, okay. Thing one says, not you, boo. She said, you're good. This message was for Chloe, Lex, and Zai. And so I'm like, ooh, okay. So now Zai's telling them she can't send anything right now because, you know, the charge on her card, she's not sending them no money. She got to figure out this $150. Mind you, I'm on the phone with them. Zai's really upset. Which in return, I'm upset because there was already side conversations. And thing one said she's not paying for the broke chair. So why are y'all in here asking me about $12 and y'all got a $150 tab y'all got to pay for y'all damages? So her sister, thing two, is like shaking my head. And Chloe questioned it because what do you mean shaking my head? And I said shaking my head. I'll drop the messages in another video if y'all want. And so now Blondie enters the chat and she's like, okay, Zaya, understand your part, ... What about everyone else paying something, ? This has been brought up and nobody sent me anything. Attitude. So one thing about me, I'm going to return exactly what you're giving to me because y'all not finna play with me. Y'all not getting my money and that's just that on that. So like I said, I can take accountability because maybe I should have sent them their money, but y'all not getting my money. Y'all attitude was nasty, sorry. So I said, yeah, y'all not getting... y'all not getting my money. Who helped for the hookah? And hello to y'all too. Because like I said, bad vibes, bad energy. We didn't hear from them all day. And so the sister just says, y'all weird. This is the bigger one. And so now they acting confused. Like, oh, who paid for the hookah? Y'all could have been said something. And we could have handled it that night. Or we could have handled this before we left. And I said, girl, did I see y'all yesterday? We in a group chat, we're next door. So now they low-key, like, they texting back to back. I'm talking to them by myself. So I'm like, hold up now. Like, y'all not finna gang up on me. Like, hold up. So now Chloe enters the chat. And she was like, y'all ain't responded all yesterday. And this, that, and the third. And I was like, well, why would I text in the same group chat I got ignored next to mind y'all? They ignored me the day before when I was asking about the hot comb, my purse, and all that. So now, little sister says, you wouldn't have got ignored if you asked for some money for some we all smoke boo. Basically, she's trying to say you wouldn't have got ignored if you asked about sending money for something we all smoked. Right. And then she was like, well, y'all just called me in a B&B saying if y'all wanted something if we wanted something, we should have just asked. And I said, you're saying that, but yet you texted Zai last night asking about the money when you could have came over. So now this is where it hits the fan. Because I said that, she like, oh, I wasn't home, and Zai, you're weird for that, because why is your friend telling me this? ... Mind you, Zai is driving. Now, Zai did say wait until I could say something in the group chat, but she was taking too long, and I was just like, no. Because I watched how they low-key bullied that girl and talking about that girl. These girls are bullies, and they think that they can say whatever they want to say and gang up on people, and you gonna let that rock. I'm not from Tally, so y'all not finna do me like that. I might be small, but y'all not finna play with me. I don't play them type of games. So now the sister's like, I said what I said, the little sister, and she leaves the group chat. So they trying to, play peacemaker, like all this over $12. Oh, I said her name. Sorry, girl. Oreo is like all this over $12. Like she's trying to peacemake and stuff.
Somebody left the group chat? What'd they say? Somebody left the conversation?
One is like, if y'all ain't have the money, just say that, because that's what it's given. So you know how to send a voice message, because don't play with me. So basically, I'm explaining, the gas situation on why we didn't put in the first day, but we told your sister we would put it in, but now that y'all started acting weird, that's why y'all not getting my money. I'm explaining that, and I'm telling them, like, I'm not from where y'all from, but y'all not gonna play with me.
Okay, let me read this. So let me get this straight. Y'all want us? I have to send a voice message because I'm busy. Y'all want us to pay $40 for a half a tank when we did not drive half a tank. Y'all wanted us to fill up half a tank when y'all got down to Houston. We only rolled with y'all for maybe about 5 miles. That's probably $5 worth of gas. Y'all was upset because we didn't send y'all. We didn't offer to pay gas money. I didn't hear y'all say, okay, I'm not going to keep on reading through this because the audio message didn't interpret correctly, so let's continue.
Don't do them type of games, you know, I'm telling them what it is. So I'm like telling them I got the hookah because y'all asked for it. I didn't mind paying for it. It wasn't that big deal. But basically y'all in here talking about some $12 when y'all owe $150. So what's really tea? So they're like, nobody told you to pay for it. Basically like, we was gonna help you pay for it, and I'm telling them like y'all didn't help pay for it though, but it wasn't no problem. You saw him, we all was right there. Nobody pulled their card out at the end of the day. So what are we talking about? So here go the sister, thing one, still talking out her neck. And when you write it in someone else's shit that you did not pay a dime for, common courtesy is to offer money. I understand where you're coming from, but did your sister not tell you we did offer the money? We told her we would have been paid it, but she said don't worry about it. But on top of that, like I said, y'all not getting my money because y'all are being weird. Y'all attitude is nasty. And why are we talking about $12 when y'all still have to pay $150 that you said you wasn't paying for? Y'all trying to deflect. We're not doing that. Pay my friend her $150, then you can get your gas money. Part 5 or part 6. I promise y'all this is the last part. So yeah, now it's getting heated in the chat like the girls are going at it. So, and mind y'all, so what was going to happen was I did not, initially y'all, I promise y'all I was going to send them that money. $12 is nothing. $12 is nothing to me at all. I am a hairstylist. I'm not worried about $12. I promise you I'm not. But
I think women are so used to dealing with dudes that their first argument or the first thing they say in order to kind of take a jab at somebody's character is to say that they're broke. Nigga, what? Like, when somebody comes to me with that, I'm gonna look at you and be like, yeah, I'm broke. I'm super broke. Broke as hell. You're not getting your money. Like, is it that big of a deal? Is it that big of a deal? They're really projecting their brokenness, to be honest with you, but I'm not about to sit here and defend against my finances. If I said I ain't giving you shit, I ain't giving you shit.
Our thing is we're gonna have to help Zai pay this $150 because she's not paying it alone. She can't pay it alone. We are gonna have to help her cover. Me, Chloe, and Naja said we would help her pay the $150. So y'all are not getting $12 when there is $150 that has to be paid. Like, what are y'all not understanding about that? But really, y'all, even up until this point, I was gonna give them the $12. But I'm gonna keep reading because I'm gonna tell y'all how they tried to play. The reason why they didn't get no money from me, because I said yeah, I was gonna give it to them. But honestly, me being me, because I'm a fair person, I'm real, I am who I am. They would have gotten that money had the sister not tried to be funny. And so now I'm responding to when she said, so basically Chloe's telling her, I told you money was never the issue, don't play with me. She said, no, obviously it is. I said, I really hope you're not trying to say money is the issue. I would really hope not, because girl, and I don't even want to get on here and try to play because I'm not the type of person, I'm not going to put you down and make myself feel better. I don't know what you have going on in your personal life, but you are older than me. She's 25 or however old she is. I'm doing way better than you. Way better than you. You don't need to sit here and say nothing about money. I'm not even going to sit here and say what I need to say, but please don't play with me ever in your life. You don't know me. You don't know me. I got my shit together. And it's getting better every day for me. Don't play with me. So here come Blondie. At the end of the day, y'all hopped in my motherfucking truck, and for one, didn't ask. Second, didn't attempt to pay for gas. Literally $20 to $30 would have did it justice. So let me tell y'all what I got out of this right here. So basically, y'all remember I kept saying, let's Uber, let's Uber, let's Uber. I kept saying, let's Uber. Y'all want us to ride with y'all. Y'all car was offered by Thing 2. It was offered by Thing 2. She's the one who said, we can all ride. We'll drive, and then tomorrow we can Uber, because that's the day we're going to be drinking. She offered. I never asked to ride with y'all, because I told Zaya we needed to Uber anyways. Because I already knew it was going to be funny business. So I just replied, and I said, because like I said too, she said $20 to $30 would do it justice. So like I said, her friend obviously didn't go back over there and tell her we was gonna give the $40. So That goes to show you it was miscommunication on their end, and it was messy miscommunication. Cause she was low-key, it's given, she was trying to stir the pot, I'm not gonna lie. And so that's what I was like, it was gonna be awkward until y'all started acting weird. So now the big girl is like, let me stop saying that. That's how I'm remembering her. Thing one said, okay, so that's why I left the house, and it ain't say nothing. That's not why we left the house. We told y'all we wanted to go do an escape room. Y'all knew we was leaving the house. Us leaving the house had nothing to do with no type of money issue or anything that was going on or no weird energy. We left because I wanted to apartment tour. I'm sorry that I'm not all about drinking. I actually like to handle business, okay? I wanted to go do apartment tours. Like, my bad that I got my life together. Like, my bad. Like, ooh, sorry. So finally, they still talking. Like, the girl, she's still talking. So I'm just like, I think it's too much talking going on. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The last night we was there, I was purposely talking loud. We was outside. And in my head, I'm like, one of the girls had a gun to her face. Blondie had a gun. So I was honestly trying to be cautious because you don't really never know how people go move for real. But that night I was like, you know what? If they come out here talking about money, this, that, and the third, and they acting weird, we just gonna have to go at it. We just gonna have to go at it. Because at that point, I was just like, y'all energy's weird. Y'all are off. Like, I didn't know what was really going on for real. But I was on whatever they was on. I'm not gonna lie. So my thing is, y'all wait until we leave Houston to pop y'all gums. I didn't like that. So now she like, stop trying to BS me. So at this point, I'm really going back and forth with her. So I laughed at it because girl boo, like girl boo. So she's still going on and on and on. And she's like, basically, Chloe said cash out for Zai. Thing one said cash out for, hold on. She's like cash out for Jay. And so I said, so y'all finna have y'all friend pay $150 because y'all mad about $24. And they was like, Zai, where you at? She's driving. Like, she's driving. That's why she knows. Y'all want her to crash the car and kill herself? She's driving. Give it a second. Her and Chloe are riding together. They're driving. Like, cut that shit out. So now it's giving that thing one was embarrassed because she was like, me and Zai was discussing this privately. Basically, she don't know why she brought it to the chat. So now I was like, it's being brought in the chat because y'all asking about $12. So she was like, shut that shit up. Like, ooh, girl. Like, her mouth is crazy. You wasn't giving this when we was in Houston. Sorry. So basically, they started going off at the mouth, and me and Chloe was just returning it. I'm not gonna lie. So I was just like, girl, because pipe it down. Like, you're not talking to me. I promise you're not talking to me. And so now she's like, we've already talked about, she was like, basically, we already talked about this twice, and no money has been sent, and y'all only responded when my sister sent reacted to Zai text. And I was just like, well, that passive aggressive shit not gonna fly. She said, you said be direct, interact, so now it's passive. And I was just like, it's not beef because I don't gotta see you again. That's fine, LOL. And she was like, why is 150 being brought up in here? That should be between Zai and the other girl, between the girl who broke the chair. And it's just stupid. So I was just like, y'all got jelly for brains. Because at this point, I'm sick of y'all hoes. Y'all got jelly for brains. Don't nobody brain move. Don't nobody brain work correctly. Y'all just got jelly in there. Like, it's giving SpongeBob. So now she's like, this is thing one, and y'all broke as fuck and weird. So I said, I'm broke? Because I'm broke? Like, hold on now, like, hold on now. Hold up, broke is crazy. Broke is crazy, I ain't gonna lie. So
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I was raised in a super impoverished background. Not saying this sister was, but I don't have a trauma complex in my mind that makes me want to defend myself against the allegation of me being broke. I just don't. Somebody called me broke. Okay. Alright. Moving on.
like, apparently so. Chloe like broke. She said, but it's fine. Chloe, God don't like I can say Chloe name. God don't like ugly. So now,
like, I don't understand. You're calling me broke, but the bottom line is you're still not getting that $12. You're still not getting that $12. I guess.
Oreo's coming back in trying to peacemake, and this whole conversation's ugly. And I said, babe, I'm not the type to stunt on nobody. I already told you that. But what you're not gonna do is you're not gonna play me like I don't got it going on for real. I said, babe, 20 years old, bought my first house, and I can go into any establishment and get what I want because I can. I really can. Like, stop playing with me. Like, stop playing with me. I can go into any establishment and get what I want. I could have actually taught you something too if you wouldn't have been like that. I would have sat around and told y'all everything y'all need. I could have put y'all on to things y'all never even heard about before because I have the knowledge and I have no issue ever putting anybody onto anything. Whenever somebody asks me, I always tell them. Like, come on now. I'm somebody that you actually want to have and be around because I will put you on. You would never sit at my table and not walk away with some type of knowledge. That's just what it is. I'm not going to lie. Now, when it comes to y'all, all I heard was drinking, smoking, popping, and lip gloss. Stop playing. So now Chloe, like, show me 10 pans right now. And then the other girl, thing one, now she's bringing up and she was like, you're going to jail. It was like, we can figure this out with, you know, while respecting each other. And I was just like, I'm returning the same energy to your friend. This shit ain't cool. And so thing one is like crickets. She was like, keep coming up off of death, folks. Y'all weird and I'm done. Zai, you know better. And she said, as far as the chair, we could discuss that privately like we've been doing. And I said, what are we even talking about? She said, I'm done. And I said, be done. Everybody left the chat. So now I'm gonna give y'all the floor. Who was wrong in this situation? Like I said, I know that I should have sent my $12, being that I told them I would send it. But once the $150 came up, I saw how their attitudes was. Y'all wasn't paying, or the girl who broke the chair, y'all not paying to get the chair, y'all not paying for y'all part of the B&B, with the damages. Y'all left it how it was. I'm not giving y'all money. Y'all attitude is nasty. It's nasty. And on top of that, like I said, I paid for the hookah and I paid for the Uber that also took them home. Nobody offered me a dime. Yes, I did that out of the kindness of my own heart, but at the end of the day, principle still stands. Y'all didn't offer me no dime. Y'all didn't give me not one quarter. Y'all didn't give me a penny. Nobody said nothing about anything. And so, yes, I might have been wrong for it. I'm an adult. I will take accountability. I should have sent y'all $12. But at the end of the day, once you call me broke, all bets was off the table. You insulted first. I'm weird and I'm broke, right? So now since I'm broke, I'm gonna need to keep my $12. I gotta keep my lights on, babe, right? I'm broke. I gotta feed myself, right? I'm broke. I gotta be able to put clothes on my body. So no, you're not getting my $12. Now all bets off the table. And actually, I ain't gonna lie, they actually had to get sent money to put the gas back in the car. But I'm broke. But it's like, look at the pot calling the kettle black. Like, and I'm honestly not trying to be petty about it because it's just like, you don't know anybody's financial situations, which is why I've never personally attacked them. And it's so crazy, y'all, because the night before we left, I literally sat Zai down and I'm looking her dead in her face. And I said, you know what, Zai? Them girls, they're not your friend. And I said, you're worried about everything else. I'm telling y'all exactly what I told her. You're worrying about your stuff with your nigga. You're worrying about your job. They are going to be your biggest downfall. You can't tell me you're going to sit around and be around the same group of people every single weekend who's not pushing you to do better. They are not. I'm telling y'all, my discernment is there, and I knew from jump that they were and not even all of them, but they are not nobody's friend. And I told her that, y'all. So this is really the end of the story time. I don't really have nothing more to say because anything from this point on will be strictly off insults, because on y'all very best day, hoes couldn't fuck. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna use this comment. This is gonna be the last video I'm making about this, by the way. I'm not making another video about this. I'll reply in the comments, but I'm not making another video. This is gonna be the video I'm gonna use to answer some questions and reply to some of the comments I was seeing, particularly this one. So I want to clear this comment up because this is the second comment I've seen under this video, or under the video I'm replying to. So basically this comment is saying that basically me and Zai paid for everything on the trip. Me and Zai did not pay for everything on the trip. That is by no means what I was saying. We all paid the same thing on the trip. So prior to the trip, we all, of course, sent what we were supposed to send for the B&B. We all paid for our own flights. Those of us who were flying, they all paid for the rental. The ones who were driving. We also all sent the same amount of money for the section at the club. Whatever it was that we were doing group-wise, pole dancing class, we all spent the same amount of money. The only extra parts of money came in is when Zai did the goodie bags, and they were saying the gas money, which could be considered extra, being that was something that they wanted to be refunded. And what also could have been considered extra was me paying for the Uber and me paying for the hookah, which I did not get reimbursed for, which was not a problem. I also saw another comment basically saying that the same way they came over to the house and the same way they spoke up about the gas money is the same way I should have basically talked to them about the hookah and about, get out my trash can. Hold on, y'all. Basically the same way that, they said whatever, the same way I should have brought up the hookah and the Uber. Once again, I didn't bring it up because I didn't mind paying for it. Like I said, nobody else offered to pay for the hookah when it did came. So I only brought it up because I was trying to make my point that y'all are asking me about this, that, and the third, and nobody helped pay for the stuff that y'all also did use. That was the point I was trying to make. But like I told them in the group chat, it didn't matter because I paid for it. It was not that big of a deal to me. Like, it just didn't matter. Also, I'm pretty sure they're going to see every single last story time because a couple of them did say that they've seen me on their For You page before. Perfectly fine. Like I said in the videos, I kept telling y'all in every single part that I was not posting it to be messy. Now, I could understand how it came off, how it could have came off as messy, because here go my mama telling some I shouldn't have posted it because it looks like I'm being messy, basically. Which I feel like I'm not being messy. I was more so just coming from my experience standpoint. I wanted to tell my experience because, like I kept saying, I didn't think it was gonna happen. Or like the way everything went, like it was just kind of like, whoa, like where did that come from? So I was telling it based off of my experience. Now, me being messy would have been me saying and bringing up certain things that I shouldn't have even been knowing about the girls. That would have been me being messy. The entire time when I was telling the stories, I did not once call them broke. They called me broke. But even when speaking to them, I never said, you're broke, I'm not broke. I never called anybody. I never made fun of certain things I could have made fun of. I don't know exactly how to word what it is I'm trying to say, but I just never scooped down to the level that they were at. Or not even they, because all of them weren't throwing insults. Like, let's start there. Like I said, I did not have a problem with all of the girls. But I'm just saying I did not meet them where they were at disrespect-wise. Like, I did not do that. Even when they were being disrespectful, or when the one girl was being disrespectful, calling us broke, and saying all these different types of things, I was more so just like, where is this coming from? Like, to me, it was very off-putting, but I still didn't get on TikTok, and I still didn't do any type of defamation on anybody's name. So let's go ahead and clear that up, is that I was not being messy, nor did I talk bad about anybody, because like I said, the only thing I said was that I'm doing better than, you know, the certain girl, and she's 25, and I said on y'all best day, y'all couldn't F with me. That's all I said. That's not being disrespectful, that's just me stating facts. I'm not being messy, I'm just telling my story, my experience, and I just kind of want to clear that up. Like I said, I never have to see them again. I honestly do wish them well, because at the end of the day, this is all life. We're all trying to figure it out. But you just can't. My whole point to them is, or to the girl really, who was being disrespectful, is just certain things you don't say and you don't do. And that's why I personally did not get on here. I didn't call her broke. And in that group chat, I did say the thing about, you know, I'm 20 years old, or I was 20 and got my first house. I did say that, but I also did not keep going on a rampage about how much money I got and how I got this and how I got that in the group chat, because at the end of the day, I also understand that anything I have that God has blessed me with is the same way he can go and take it back. Because just to my luck, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to flaunt what I got, and then I'm going to wake up tomorrow and he going to snatch everything from me. I'm not playing them type of games. I'm not playing them type of games. And so that's why I didn't go in the way I could have. I didn't. I was just more so saying, like, y'all just not getting my money. And I do believe now that the $150 was paid by Thing One. I do believe she has paid it. I'm not really sure. I'm letting, you know, my friend handle what she has to handle with her friends, because that's her friends. She can do whatever it is she wants to do with them. I'm not really too sure exactly what's happening with their friendship, so I cannot answer any questions on that. But this will be the last video I'm making about this, because I honestly have some PR packages. It is some content I have to film for TikTok, which I don't know how I'm gonna film beauty content and my lashes look like this, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I hope that answers any questions or anything. You know, like I said, I will still reply to comments, but I'm probably not going to speak on it too much longer, because even then, when posting this, I kept saying, like, I did not want that many people to see it. Like, 200, 300 views was good to me. It's like part one, every time I look, there's more people viewing it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what if TikTok turns on me? And I've been saying that the whole time, but like I said, I understood even too some of the, like, where some of the other girls were coming from, you know, with, you know, just certain things I understood, but it was the delivery, and I just couldn't get around, I just couldn't get around the delivery. So yeah, like I said, I don't really know, but I wasn't even planning on leaving these up for long. That's the thing. I wanted to post it, leave it up for a little bit, and take it down. But I'm going to leave them up for a little bit longer. But once I start back posting more content, I might end up taking it down, only because this is not my typical content. I do more so beauty content, lifestyle vlogs. Y'all see me working, doing hair. So make sure y'all follow me and subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at Alexis Simone, and on YouTube at Alexis Simone. And yeah, book me for lashes, even though my lashes look full. Book me for lashes, wigs, whatever. Since y'all on here now, you know what I'm saying? Let's go and put this, you know, put it all to use. But I hope you guys did enjoy the story time. I honestly watched it a few times, and I personally thought it was really entertaining. It wasn't boring, although each part was literally 10 minutes long. Each part was 10 full minutes. And my engagement on them is really good. So that lets me know that I did a really good job telling the story. A lot of people texted me and said I did a good job telling the story. And I did tell the story without putting anybody down. And I'm proud of myself for that because, like I said, I could have said a whole lot of things, but it's just not in my character. I don't have to stoop that low just to tell my side of a story. And even then, it's like, I didn't have to tell my side of the story, but I more so wanted to tell an experience because to me, that was an experience. Because honestly, y'all, that was my first time being invited out on a girl's trip. I'm always planning a trip, or people are always tagging along with me and my family on trips. This is the first time I went on a trip completely by myself, without my family, without my best friend, without my sister. So it was different for me, and I really didn't know what to expect. Like I told y'all, I was nervous going, and so for this to kind of happen, it was a little unfortunate because I did want to enjoy myself, which I did enjoy myself, but I feel like had communication been in play and it wasn't so much messy and shady stuff going on, then I definitely could have enjoyed it a lot more. But I mean, I wouldn't take the trip back for anything because I went to Houston. Like I can say I went to Houston. I've always wanted to go, and I will be going back. So I hope they answered all your questions, and like I said, you know, yeah, just go ahead and like and follow. And y'all can comment whatever it is y'all want to say. I'll respond. I'll answer. I'm ready for people to say, oh, you was wrong. You should have sent the $12. I've taken accountability for wherever I might have played, you know, my wrong part. I've taken my accountability. And that's all that matters. So, yeah, I'll catch y'all another time because make sure y'all tune into my beauty content. Yeah, I need all y'all who's here now, who's watching. Yeah, y'all better be on my beauty content tomorrow and the day after that, day after that. I got a lot of stuff to post. So, I'll see y'all later. Good night.
What Councilman Eric May say, you go low, I go lower. Okay? Nah, but to be serious, I mean, I understand where she's coming from as to why she didn't send the $12 to all of her friends. Obviously, they were talking stuff about her. If you want some money from somebody, it's probably not in your best interest to talk down on them. It's similar to you going to a restaurant and talking about your waiter or waitress while they're right in front of you. Chances are they're going to go back and spit in your food. So it isn't in your best interest to do something like that. But I think that this speaks for female interactions and for female trips, girls' trips as a whole. Many of them go on those trips and they're involved in a bunch of whole shit. Really. They are, and much of them have nothing to do with just going and being upright ladies. Let's go, like she said, let's go look at some houses. Let's go look at some apartments. Let's go sightsee. Let's go, I don't know, rock climbing. That's something that like normal people do. But everything has to be centered around shaking your ass, shaking your coochie, grinding up and down on that goddamn pole. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's where she became a bit disgruntled. But that's the reality of a lot of these girls' trips. Thank you for tuning in to another Clocked Out Conversation. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.